Hey everybody, Coach Troy here. Now, I already did a video going over why I was thinking about getting the 2600 plus, not exactly to replace this old thing, but just to kind of supplement it, and, I was kind of excited for it. Since then, I learned a few things, forgot to say a few things last video, and I want to clarify a couple things, so let's get into it. Alright, first off, something I forgot to mention, kind of important, is that not all carts are going to be compatible with the new 2600 Plus. Yet so far, it looks like there's 3 games, Real Sports Boxing, Cobra, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Sadly, if you got that one, it's not going to run on the new machine. Now, exactly why, I have no idea, and I don't think I'll ever be tech savvy enough to actually fully understand why. But for some reason, those 3 are not working. Looks like most games have been tested, but there are still several question marks in there. There's lots of games that have been untested to see whether or not they're going to work, and that's a little curious to me. How could Atari not have these games tested? I mean, they should have at least one copy of every single Atari game ever made, or so you would think, or at least have some kind of access to get them. So why is it that we still have question marks? I'm not sure. I'm sure if they gave a couple of these out, get some player testing in there, we could figure this out in not too long at all to see what's working and what's not. How far along they are, how much more they're going to do, I got no idea. So that's just one more reason to not get rid of your old Atari, because, they still got all those question marks. There's several homebrews that who knows if they're actually going to work or not, because I'm pretty sure Atari is not testing homebrews. And since Atari has been coming out with all these new carts, is there going to be anything that only works on the 2600 Plus? Since then, I know Venture just came out with a new copy of that. Was it Venture or was it? No, it was Berserk. My mistake. Berserk they just came out with. And Outlaw. I just saw that there's a new Outlaw cart that they're selling on their website. So with that being said, if they're making these new carts, are they going to make anything that is 2600 Plus exclusive? I don't think they will, but maybe they will. And another thing you guys pointed out to me, because while I was very excited for the 7800 capabilities of the machine, this is your controller. And how many buttons does this have? Just the one. So there's going to be some 7800 games that you're not going to be able to play with this controller. So you got to have one of these. All right, if you got one of these, hopefully you're in your luck. Well, will this work in the new machine? I hope so. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm hoping that the old controllers will work in the new machine. Now, I did hear a rumor, and don't quote me, although it is fun to start rumors, right, that they are going to create and distribute a new 7800 controller. All right, that could be fun. Now, is it going to be this one? I'd be okay with it, but I would much prefer that D-pad controller that they got in Europe. Now that, would be much more tempting for me to buy. And if they did what they were doing with the paddle controllers, if they came with a cart with 5 to 10 7800 games, oh, now that just might push me to have to get it. That would be probably too tempting for me to resist. So, What games would you want on there? Food Fight would have to be, you'd think, right? Food Fight. I'd like a Centipede. I always like the 7800 version of Centipede. I don't know. You tell me what games you want on that cart if it comes out. But as we get into that, and there's another cart, if you look at the system, the paddle controls, if there's another control, that does start getting to be a little expensive. It takes this, the reasonable $130 for a new machine, and it pushes it, getting to that upper or over the $200 range. That's beginning to be a little pricey. I'm just I'm just a coach working for a public school system. I don't exactly have deep pockets. So it's still tempting, but it's going to make me think just a little bit more on whether or not I want to jump in and purchase this system. Now lastly, I made a little comment about how people were saying it was a backwards compatible system to the 7800, and I was thinking that could be true if you consider it. While it's playing mainly 2600 games, it's a system made newer than the 7800, so if it went back and played those, even though it wasn't their main thing, that would count it as backwards compatible. But you could also consider it, since it's a 2600 system and it's playing the more advanced cards of the 7800, that would be a forwards compatible system. So several people had opinions. I asked a game developer friend of mine what his thoughts on it were, because he'd be a little more qualified than me to speak on it. This is what he told me. Technically, both, depending on how you look at it, could be correct. But since it's a new system that plays both types, I would just consider it a dual cartridge compatible system. Being backwards compatible to me suggests that it's built for a new game while still playing the old game, whereas this is specifically built to play multiple old games. There you have it from a man much smarter than me. I don't know, what are your thoughts? Backwards compatible, forwards compatible, or neither and just a compatible system? So there you have it. What do you think it is? Backwards compatible, forwards compatible, or just a dual cartridge compatible system? Alright, you let me know what your thoughts are. And also, while we're talking about Atari, I did just see that Atari purchased Atari Age. What exactly that's going to mean and how they're going to use it moving forward, well, that'll be interesting to see. You let me know your thoughts on that as well. I haven't exactly looked into all the details, so we'll see what they got going there. Other than that, it looks like Atari's making some moves, coming out with an old system, freshening up some carts of old games with Outlaw and Berserk, coming out with new carts. So interesting to see what they got coming down the pipeline. I just hope they keep things reasonable and with the best interests of the Atari fans in mind. Corporations always do that, right? Anyway, this is Coach Troy. Let me know what you think about all this. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all next time. Thanks y'all for watching as I travel into the world of retro gaming. If you want to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. Or if you're interested in my other hobbies of board gaming or fitness, check out my other channel. This is Coach Troy, and I'll see y'all next time.